This is the Boston Celtics' first NBA championship in 1957. And this is the Boston Celtics' 18th NBA championship in 2024. No one can argue that the Boston Celtics are one of the most successful franchises ever. In fact, they hold the unimaginable title in the entire history of the NBA, winning a whopping 11 out of 13 championships from 1957 to 1969. But how did we get here? And how did they become so good? It all started when Walter Brown founded the Celtics in Boston in 1946. They were original members of the Basketball Association of America, which later became the NBA. Playing on the iconic Parquet Court at the Boston Garden, the Celtics made a name for themselves before moving to the TD Garden in 1995-96. And fun fact, they had a rough start, with losing records in their first 4 seasons. But that all changed with the arrival of head coach Red Auerbach in 1950. And under Auerbach's leadership, the Celtics became unstoppable in the mid-1950s. They clinched their first championship in 1956-57, taking down the St. Louis Hawks in the nail-biting series that went to double overtime in the deciding 7th game, with an incredible lineup including legends like Frank Ramsey, Ed McCauley, Bill Sharman, Bob Cousy, Tim Heinsohn, and the dominant Bill Russell, who was the league's MVP 5 times. The Celtics set a record by winning 8 straight NBA titles from the 58-59 season all the way to 65-66. Not only that, they were so good that they won again in 67-68 and the 68-69 season. See, Boston's rise to NBA glory matched the boom of TV sets in the US after World War II, which made the team and its players national icons as basketball's popularity soared. And from that moment, the Celtics' championship streak was filled with unforgettable moments. Like Russell snagging an NBA Finals record 40 rebounds in a game not once, but twice, way back in 1960 and 1962. And Havlicek's epic steal in the 1965 Eastern Division Finals, which was immortalized by announcer Johnny Most's famous call, "Havlicek stole the ball!"
Play, he gets it out deep, and Havlicek steals it over to Stan Jones. Havlicek stole the ball! It's all over! It's all over! Johnny Havlicek is being mobbed by the fans! Johnny Havlicek stole the ball!
The showdowns between Russell, who also coached the team from 66 to 69, and Chamberlain, first with the 76ers and then the Lakers, were the stuff of legend, producing some of the most thrilling games in NBA playoff history. Furthermore, even as new stars emerged, like Dave Cowens, Paul Silas, and JoJo White, Havlicek remained a key player to the Celtics, helping Coach Heinsohn's team secure titles in the 73-74 season and 75-76. One of the most memorable moments came in the 1976 NBA Finals, with the Celtics pulling off a breathtaking triple overtime win against the Phoenix Suns in Game 5. And let me tell you, this game was so good, it was named the greatest game ever played. The Celtics had a solid lead at halftime, but the Suns weren't ready to give up. They fought back and made the score close. In the second overtime, after this shot sunk into the basket, the Celtics thought they had already won, so the players headed to the locker room. The fans rushed onto the court, getting so wild that ref Richie Powers was assaulted by one of them.
The fan, right here in front. Referee Richie Powers was assaulted by a fan. They pulled the bore off.
Others caused chaos by flipping over the scoring table, but the refs noticed there was still 1 second left on the clock. And actually, if we played in slow motion, after the ball sunk, there were 2 more seconds. But they decided to stick with 1 second, and that second became one of the best moments in NBA history. See, the game wasn't over yet, so fans had to go back to their seats and players returned to the court for that last second. However, even after clearing the court, fans were all over the place, disrupting the Suns' huddle by their bench. The Suns players had to push through the crowd, and the Phoenix general manager threatened not to return to Boston if security couldn't handle it. But despite the chaos, the Suns managed to sink a buzzer-beating shot, tying the score and pushing the game to triple overtime.
Much they'll have to throw it up. Garherd, turnaround, shot in the air. It's good!
I mean, that kind of game is a rarity nowadays. In 1978, the Celtics were part of a unique swap after the NBA blocked the team's owner from moving them to California. Instead, the Celtics traded franchises with the Buffalo Braves, and in that same year, they made one of the best decisions in the history of the NBA by drafting one of its greatest players and the greatest trash talker ever, Larry Bird.
You would have played against him, man. Larry Bird was the biggest shit talker in the league back in the day. He would tell you exactly where he was going, what he was going to do. And he did that to us in the finals. He was like, guys, don't worry about it. I'm going right over here into the corner. I'm going to catch the ball, I'm going to shoot it, and ain't shit y'all can do about it. I mean, just like, and he did exactly that. So I wish you would have got a chance to play against him.
Larry Bird's arrival became the start of the new era in the NBA, especially with the intense rivalry between the Celtics, led by Bird, and the Lakers, led by Magic Johnson. And let me tell you, this rivalry, which started in their college days, didn't just save the NBA, it brought the league to extreme heights of popularity. Moreover, the Celtics reached the NBA Finals 5 times in the 1980s, clinching championships in the 80-81, 83-84, and in 1985-86 seasons. In the mid-1990s, the Celtics hit a tough spot by missing the playoffs for 6 straight years, starting with the 95-96 season. Even when they got back to the postseason, they often lost early. But everything changed with that 07-08 season. With Doc Rivers as head coach, the Celtics pulled off the greatest single-season turnaround in NBA history. They finished with the best record in the league, improving by 42 wins while adding superstars Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen to a team that already had Paul Pierce. And with such an extremely powerful lineup, the Celtics charged into the NBA Finals. They faced their rivals, the Lakers, and beat them for the 9th time, giving the Celtics their 17th title. But their rivalry continued, with both teams winning their conference championships again in the 09-10 season. This time, the finals went to a thrilling 7-game series, with the Lakers coming out on top and beating the Celtics. As the Celtics' veteran players grew older, their on-court successes started to fade. Ray Allen left in 2012 as a free agent and went to the Miami Heat, where he won his 2nd ring with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. The Celtics traded away Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce after the 2012-2013 season, but this was part of a plan to rebuild the team with younger players. Surprisingly, the plan worked faster than anyone expected. The Celtics were back in the playoffs by the 14-15 season. That year, they added point guard Isaiah Thomas, who quickly became an all-star. He led the team to the best record in the Eastern Conference in 2016-17. However, the Celtics season ended in the conference finals with a 4-1 loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers. After that, in the offseason, they traded Thomas and other assets to get the then healthy star guard Kyrie Irving. They also signed all-star forward Gordon Hayward, but both players faced major injuries during the regular season. Despite this, the young Celtics core performed beyond expectations. They finished with the 2nd best record in the Eastern Conference and went on an impressive playoff run. However, this journey ended in a tough 7-game conference finals loss to the Cavaliers. Boston stayed pretty healthy during the 18-19 season, but then they got knocked out in the 2nd round of the playoffs. The team, now led by Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, fought their way back to the conference finals in the COVID-19 shortened 2019-2020 season. However, the next season ended with a 1st-round playoff exit in 2020-2021, prompting the Celtics to shake up their front office and the coaching staff. See, the 2021-22 season started slow for Boston, but they quickly turned things around. From early January to the end of the season, they had the best record in the league. This momentum carried them into the playoffs, where they fought hard. Their journey ended in the NBA Finals, where they lost in 6 games to the Golden State Warriors. The Celtics made another coaching change in the offseason, bringing in 34-year-old Joe Mazzulla as the head coach, the youngest in the league. Under his leadership, the Celtics thrived in the 22-23 season, finishing with a 57-25 record, even better than the previous year. In the playoffs, they reached the Eastern Conference Finals and went down 0-3 against the Miami Heat. But they didn't give up, and they fought back to force a Game 7 at home, though they lost. Despite that disappointing finish, the Celtics bounced back strong in the 23-24 season. They dominated the entire league, losing just 18 games in the regular season and only 3 in the playoffs. This impressive performance led them to win their 18th NBA title. with Jayson Tatum leading the Celtics in scoring, but Jaylen Brown became the Finals MVP, which happened for the first time in NBA history.